Hey everybody, Grant Miller here, Miami Community Newspapers. I'm with my good friend, long friend, Dennis Moss. You were a county commissioner for how long?
For over 27 years, and thank you to you and your audience for this opportunity to be able to speak with them this morning.
Now, before you were a county commissioner, what were you? What did you do?
Well, before I was a county commissioner, I worked for the Richmond Heights Optimist Club.
And we all know that's the Giant.
Yeah.
Most people, unless you're from the South, you don't know who the Richmond Giants are.
Right.
Great legacy. You know,
Right.
I coached Pop Warner football for many
Absolutely.
years, and I was the president of Pop Warner. And my best rivalries were at Richmond Heights, and I never forget. It was kickoff time. Oh no, before warm-up time, and I lined my team up in your side under the goalpost. Wow! But Friday nights at Richmond Park, there's nothing better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the problems in Miami or Dade County, even back all the way to when Roy Brown,
Roy.
I love that
Absolutely.
man.
Yeah.
You go to Richmond Park on a Friday night, there ain't no problems.
Right. Exactly.
Only, there's no problems, and those were great days.
Exactly. And my focus really was on the social services aspect.
Right, I understand
ran
that.
the social services
So
program.
how long were you? How long?
I worked for the Richmond Heights Optimist Club for 40 years.
You still doing it?
No. I retired in 2018. 36 of those years, I was the executive director. Yeah, and again, when I say social service programs, we're talking about counseling programs, parenting programs, summer jobs programs, after-school programs, summer camp programs, alternative education programs, community suspension programs, on and on and on.
Well, yeah. I'm going to jump on that. When I hear these people talk about defunding police, no, we need to take money and put it in those programs across the county.
Let me respond to that. My position has been very clear publicly on this issue. I do not support defunding the police, and as I've said several times from the dais as a county commissioner, I want more police in my district. I want them to be fair and I want them to be professional, but I want more police services in my district.
I had Stedman Stahl here. My brother and I had him here a few days ago. And that's exactly the people that need the police want more police.
Right.
Nobody wants a police officer until they get an accident or somebody robs them. And then they want a police.
Right.
The areas that need them want more.
Right.
But that money being spent in Richmond Prime, it was great. The social services,
Absolutely.
it helped people that you don't see on the street because you're doing a lot of great things. Right. You did it how many years?
I did it for 40 years, 36 years as the executive director,
okay.
And retired in 2018.
All right, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Richmond Heights.
Okay. Where were you born?
I was born in the Bahamas, and I came.
Which island?
Crooked Island. I came over
well,
here.
How big is that island?
It's not very big. As a matter of fact, I was there last year, and it's like one main street, kind of running through the entire island. And again, it was an opportunity for me to go back to my birthplace. I came here when it was about 3, moved to Coconut Grove. Where most Bahamians.
We know that.
Yeah.
Miamians know that anybody that comes from the Bahamas
Right.
go. And that was the heart and soul. They had junk canoe.
Right. Moved to Coconut Grove.
Now, you fly into Nassau and then take a little plane over? Or?
Yeah. You've got to take a little plane, a little junket on over to the islands.
We about 3 years ago, I was selected. I don't know how, and I got to sit in the podium for the junk canoe parade.
Right.
Most parades are 1 hour, 2 hours. Junk canoe parade was like 12 hours.
Yeah.
Because everybody had their costumes.
Yeah.
All right, so your parents moved. What street did you live on? Do you remember?
Charles Avenue.
Charles
Avenue.
A couple blocks off of Grand.
Yeah, Charles Avenue.
To the north.
Yeah.
So then you moved. Where'd you go to elementary school?
Went to elementary school at Frank C. Martin Elementary School in Richmond Heights. Went to R.R. Moulton for a short period of time as they were building Richmond Middle School. It was Richmond Heights Junior High School back then.
Right. So tell the people, because most people don't know who F.C. Martin is.
Right.
I know who it is. My brother knows.
Right.
Who's F.C. Martin?
Frank C. Martin was a pilot who basically, when he came back from the war, felt that there were disparities in reference to housing and living conditions of African Americans, particularly those African Americans who had served in the armed services. And what he wanted to do was to create a community, a special community in South Dade. He worked with the University of Miami, and they came up with a plan. And this was one of the first planned communities. When
Was
you
he
go back
black or white?
No, he was a white gentleman. Okay.
Okay, so
And-
I know the
right,
question.
right,
You
right,
know,
right.
my daddy taught me something. Never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
Right,
But
right.
people don't know that F.C. Martin, that school, he started Richmond Heights.
Absolutely, he absolutely did. And again, he gave an opportunity for former military, African American military families, to basically be able to move in and live in a decent planned community. And I say planned community, meaning the streets were laid out. You had a section where you would have shopping and those kinds of things.
And the streets
schools, parks, on and on and on.
And the streets are named after a bunch of presidents.
Yes,
Which
yes.
street did you?
I grew up on Jackson Street.
See? And where do you live now?
I live probably about a couple of miles, to the south,
Okay, so-
between Green Hills and Southland Pines.
Okay, so you lived in Richmond Heights. What high school did you go to?
I went to Miami-Dade Senior High School.
A Cougar.
A Cougar.
And did you play football?
I played football, played basketball.
Who was your coach in football?
Coach Reed was my coach in football. Lambert, yeah.
He was bigger than a door.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
big.
yeah,
And
yeah,
who was your
yeah.
basketball coach?
My basketball coach, I've forgotten the coach's name now.
Not a good memory because Reed was good.
Yeah.
There's the kind of
I
guy
can
that
see
you
the
love to hate.
Yeah.
You hated him during the season. You loved him after.
Right,
He
right.
he helped make people.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to college at Grinnell College in Grinnell, Iowa.
To play sports or to just go there?
Played basketball. Were
you any good?
I was very good. I mean, again, even in high school, I was a good football player and a good basketball
What position
player.
did you play in football?
In football, I played defensive back. In basketball,
Were you the Cougar or you a real DB?
no, real DB.
Because
No, real DB.
they run that Cougar
Yeah, now
defense.
real DB.
For us football people,
Right.
it's a 5'2" with a monster, and they
Right,
call him the Cougar.
Right.
But we all knew that.
Yeah.
All us football fans.
Yeah.
How about this? John Gable says Dennis Moss should run for county mayor. Thank you, John Gable. Okay, so you grew up, and your brother Archie.
Archie played basketball. From Miami-Dade Senior High School. He graduated from Miami-Dade.
And he played football.
Yeah, he played football. Yeah.
Archie, his brother, and I grew up together. All right, so
That's why I met you.
I know. Listen. I known you forever. So Richmond Heights, even today, when you pull into Richmond Heights, there is a special feeling.
Right.
I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling. As you said, it was a planned community.
Right.
But there were not churches back then. Reverend Jackson, he runs a little church there, right?
But not a little church.
Just a little one.
Yeah.
Alfonso, we had him here.
Second Baptist is a big church.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
I give him-
but churches were there back in the day. You had Martin Memorial. Bethel was there.
The Purple Church wasn't there.
The Purple Church was.
Was
yeah.
it purple then?
Yeah. No, it wasn't
No,
purple
well,
then.
yeah. But we had Alfonso Jackson in there. He says he runs a little church compared to his son. I think he has 4,000 or 5,000 members.
Yeah, no, he has a huge following.
And-
and they do wonderful work in the community.
They have great community service.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have aftercare. They got school. They got a lot of services there.
Right.
So he does a great job, Alfonso Jackson,
Right.
Reverend Jackson. All right. So after you got out of Grinnell, out of Illinois, was you a little nervous when you moved?
Iowa.
Sorry, Iowa.
Iowa. Yeah. Grinnell,
That was
Iowa.
in 1970.
70. Right.
Did you were you lost when you went there?
Well, no. I went to Grinnell in 1970,
Right.
and no, I wasn't lost. Grinnell is a special place. It's a small school.
Very small, D3.
Yeah,
They
small.
got football there too.
Yeah, small school, but a highly touted academic school. Again, I went down on academic scholarship. They don't have sports scholarship.
No, this
Those-
is D3. Yeah.
Yeah.
A friend of mine went there and he played like 8 sports.
Right,
I mean,
right.
you got to play more sports there. It's so
Right.
little. So you flew into Chicago.
If I would fly into Des Moines, Iowa, or either Chicago, in order to basically, get, and then toward the last couple of years, there, I was able to get my own vehicle, and I would drive. I would drive from Miami all the way up to Iowa, and make stops in Atlanta.
When people from Iowa said, "You're from Miami? Where's that?"
Yeah, well, no, no, when people from Miami would say Iowa, where's that?
Right.
that's what would be said.
All right. So you get out of graduate college, and
Right.
what did you do from there?
Well, I started off, every summer I used to work as a lifeguard for Miami-Dade County parks. And that summer when I got out of school, I worked as a lifeguard.
Which pool?
I worked at Williams Pool, worked at Ponciana Pool, all this on the north end.
Right.
And I applied and basically was hired by the state of Florida to be a juvenile probation officer. And they call them youth counselors back then. And again, my area.
But we knew they were juvenile.
Right, my area was.
You weren't my counselor, so we were okay.
my area was over town, in the northwest section of Miami-Dade County.
And that's when the expressway just went through, and I-95, who split. People don't realize that the I-95 split the black community. It really destroyed Overtown for a long time.
And this is a pattern that was occurring, throughout the country, that type of thing. And right now the community is still trying to regroup, from that. So, again, a lot of people don't know. Again, I was a juvenile probation officer, so I used to go to court, in juvenile hall, and again, trying to keep young people, away from, continuing to make bad decisions, in their lives. And so that's what I did. And from there, I went on to work at Big Brothers and Big Sisters, And I was what I call a surrogate big brother in the South Miami, Coconut Grove area. I worked this area. Our offices were right across the street, as a matter of fact, from here. And again, what I would do is act as a temporary big brother until we could find a permanent match for the young people, in this area. So I did that for a few years. And from there, I went to the Richmond Heights Optimist Club, where I had been volunteering as a basketball coach. I coached Little League basketball for over 12 years.
Name some of your players. I know you know some of them.
Xavier Hunter, on and on and on, that type of thing. I mean, so, it was a great experience, for me, and I had a chance to then utilize my counseling experience, to move forward and to become a part of the organization itself. And 4 years later, I became the executive director. So I'm very proud of my history, there. I retired in 2018. During that time, we've been able to help thousands of young people to, again, keep them out of the school, the prison pipeline, the community, the prison pipeline, keep them involved in something positive. Work experience was a major part of what we tried to basically do. Because we wanted to make sure that young people had an alternative, that they saw work in those kinds of opportunities as the best path for them, as opposed to doing some of the other things that they saw involved in the streets.
Just for us old people or new people, people didn't realize Richmond Giants didn't play all the games in Richmond Park. They used to play half the games in West Prime.
Right.
And that was good football.
Right. Well, but again, and that's the reason why the organization was the Richmond Heights Optimist Club. Well, it's the Richmond Heights.
Right.
Optimist
People don't
Club.
realize that. In West Prime, your office was in West Prime.
That's right. Exactly. On Homestead Avenue. And fortunately, during the tenure at the agency, I was able to build a 23,000 square foot facility there with gymnasiums, classrooms, activity rooms, offices, those kinds of things. And one of the things that people really don't know about, my experience, and the things that I've done at the nonprofit is, number one, I created back in 1986, I created an alternative education program when I realized that students from challenged neighborhoods were being disproportionately expelled, not suspended, expelled from the Dade County Public School System. And so I created an alternative education program, school program, in order to basically provide them with an opportunity to redeem their lives, and again, to keep them away from the school, the prison pipeline. In 2002, and so doing that, and I say that because in doing that, you had to hire teachers and custodians and worry about curriculums and make sure that the school buses, Miami-Dade County public school buses, will come and pick them up on time. We'd have to go across the street, and still doing it, to R.R. Moulton to pick up the lunches and the breakfast for the students, their FTE, FCAT, you name it, all of those are the things that, I had to basically deal with.
That was in the 80s, the 90s, 2000. Everybody says can be a judge of stuff, But until you walk into their shoes, and there's no mother, there's no father, there's just so many issues that they have to overcome. And this program that you put together is outstanding. Okay, so who convinced you to run for county commission?
Well, Senator Darrell Jones, who was a senator at the time, and
state senator,
state representative of Los City and Bullitt. They talked to me during the time that again the judge had ruled that there needed to be single member districts, and the idea was that I had done so much work in the community because our program spanned all of South Dade, Richmond Heights, West Perrine, Goulds, Naranja, Homestead, Florida City, South Miami Heights, and then also the city of South Miami. One time we were providing services there as well. So I had a network of individuals, who I had worked with and who had seen the kind of work that I was doing in the community as a community nonprofit executive director, and felt that I could do even more as a county commissioner. So they talked to me, and they finally convinced me, to take a serious look at it, and I took a serious look at it, and I decided to run.
Who's the first person you ran against?
A.J. West. I don't know if everybody.
You beat him.
Yeah.
No, but he was already a county commissioner.
No, A.J. was Commissioner Larry Hawkins, right-hand guy. He ran the South Dade Government Center. Okay.
Right.
And so AJ, was the gentleman, that I ran against. There were other individuals, but AJ was.
He had the name, he had the big.
Right,
and
he had
was,
been there.
and then he ended up after going to Westminster and running that for a long time, off and on.
Yeah.
He's in the Carolinas or something.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. AJ's a good guy.
He's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
All right, so that's how many years ago? That was 27 years ago.
27 years ago. Yeah.
Now, my brother and I don't go by years; we go by weight.
Well,
that was about 35 pounds ago for me. we don't like to talk about an age.
I'm not gonna say how many pounds ago that was for me, all right? Because I used to be a skinny guy at one point.
Well, we know that.
Yeah.
I have pictures of that. So, all right. I'm excited. First of all, why you always use green and red or green and orange for your colors?
Well, that's Florida A&M.
I was just going to say that's a Rattler, but you weren't a Rattler.
No, and that's the University of Miami. I mean, it's my hometown, baby.
Okay.
So
it is.
I figured that would, and that's always been, my
it's
moniker.
been the same color for 20.
That would grab everybody's attention. As it relates to Florida A&M, both my son and my nephew attended Florida A&M, University, and again, I'm very proud of them and proud of the school. But again, the idea was to basically, to utilize colors that people would recognize and would be able to, gravitate toward and would grab their attention. So.
Good.
And I'm a huge University of Miami fan. Always have been, always will be. And so, that's the reason for the color scheme, if you will.
By the way, we just recognized a few people. Willie Jackson, Renee, Rudy is watching. Bernard, Smith. We have Rudy Adams, Armando, Wade Jones watching right now. We got Matt Mim, David, Chris, Daisy, Michael Callahan, another Michael, David. We got a bunch of people watching you. By the way, there's a former UM football player running. In Utah, Bernard, what's his name? Owens.
Okay.
He was a DB.
Burgess.
Burgess Owens.
Burgess. Yeah, Burgess. Yeah, Burgess Owens.
He's a Republican running.
Right. Yeah, Burgess.
I loved him as a football player, and I love, I like what he stands for, and I wish him good luck. And if he's a Cane, we should support him. Okay, so running for the school board, I think it was a great move for us, Dade County, for you to run for school board member, because there's such diversity in this school. Everybody goes, blacks make up in Dade County what percentage?
About 18%, but 26% of the students, that attend our public school system.
26%, almost 25%.
Yeah, 26%.
And how big is the board?
The board is made up of 9 members.
Now, it's single district.
Yes, single member district.
But that doesn't mean when it was made up for whatever it was. We need people that grew up in the school, who understands the school.
Right.
You grew up in Richmond.
Right.
OT. What's the other elementary?
R.R. Moulton, went for a little while. Then Richmond Junior High School, and then Miami-Killian Senior High School.
let's use Miami-Killian Palmetto High School, one of the
Right.
top schools. Everybody says it's easy. No, that school is so diverse. It is hard. I mean, if you're in one area, if everybody's the same financially,
Right.
or same race or same
Right.
creed,
Right.
it's easy. Killian is so diverse.
Very
they go
diverse.
as Palmetto, the richest to the poorest.
Exactly.
The bust in, and like let's use Killian Palmetto. If you're smart at either school,
Right.
you got no problems.
Right.
If you're dumb, you're okay because they have classes. If you're in the middle of those schools, it's tough because it's just not set up. So, what high schools will you be representing?
I will be representing certainly Palmetto Senior High School, South Dade, that sort of a thing. Homestead High School, and let me just respond to that by saying that the key to Miami-Dade County is our diversity. That is the thing that really makes us very special. And again, diversity is our strength, and we have to see that as an asset and not see that as a hindrance. Okay, and so as all portions and segments of our community grow and become better and improve, then the entire community, improves. And again, that's one reason why people love to come to Miami-Dade County. It's because of that diversity. And again, I want to make sure, that we continue, down that line. I'm going to be a representative, for everybody, and I plan to win this thing. I decided to get into the race at the very last minute. I ran about a 60-day campaign, and I came out with being the top vote getter. I got about 3,000 more votes than the next candidate. And again, I plan to represent everybody. I plan to add my voice and my experience to help the school district work through this very difficult time, and to make sure that our children are safe and they get the kind of education that they deserve. We made tremendous strides in this community, and we need to make sure that those strides continue. I'm extremely concerned because we've gone on virtual, learning, distance learning. I'm extremely concerned, that some of our students have lost, some.
They're going to lose a year.
Yeah, they have lost, some of that, potential academic growth that they would normally basically have. And so I want to make sure, that we do what we need to do in order to help those particular students.
Well, the experience you got, forget the county commission job. You experience running Richmond West Brine
Right.
program.
Right.
That's the experience you have.
Exactly.
Being a commissioner is one thing, but here you're
Right.
one-on-one. Some of
Right.
these people that got elected or had been school board has never dealt with kids.
Right.
That was your job,
Right.
to help kids get to that next level.
Right.
And regarding, I know most people call it Miami, and I know that I love it. You call it Miami-Dade because it's all of Miami-Dade.
Right.
And the reason Miami-Dade is successful because every immigrant that comes in tries to make Miami better.
Sure.
Coconut Grove, you guys were the first immigrants, Bahamas.
Right.
Who built Miami?
Yeah. Well, and that's
That was in the early 1900s. The
Yeah.
Bahamians came in and built Miami-Dade.
Exactly.
They were the workforce. Am I correct?
Right, that's right. And on top of that, see, that's something that we tend to forget. And on top of that, when the city of Miami was created, because you had Bahamians who were part of the electorate that helped create the city of Miami, and not to talk about the labor force. So Bahamians, have played a tremendous role in the building and the development of this community that we love, that we call Miami-Dade County.
Well, the reason I started the Bahamas, and then that was the influx, and then every influx. When we had the Cuban influx, we had the
Right.
next influence, we
Right.
had the next influence.
Right.
Every nationality
Right.
has built Miami-Dade County, and that's
Right.
why we have problems, but we have less because everybody owns Miami-Dade County.
Right. And again, I go back to the whole point that diversity is our strength, and we have to see it that way. And I'm urging our community to do that. Let us not get caught up in, these factions that we see going around, around
the country.
Remember, diversity is our strength. We are who we are because we are diverse. Doesn't mean that everybody's going to think the same way and act the same way, but we find a way to make it work. And that's the uniqueness, that's the beauty. People ask me all the time, well, how come you didn't you haven't left Miami-Dade and gone other places like other people have, and I say that it's because I see opportunity here. I see the kind of community and diversity that I want to be a part of. And again, we need to continue. It's a work in progress, but we need to continue to work, along that vein. And by the way, I didn't say that from the outset, but I want to thank Community News, for their support in endorsing me in the school board race. I really appreciate that. With that, you're going to have someone who does live in the district.
I want to talk about that in a second.
I've lived in the district for over 60 years, and someone who has the experience of not just elected office as a county commissioner, but someone who's also run, a school program.
And that's, again, yes, you're our candidate, and the reason is all those years of working with the youth, because we need somebody on there that understands. We don't need somebody just to say yes or no. Mm-hmm. We need somebody who understands that certain kids need help, and we need to help them, because if we don't help the kids that need help, our whole system fails.
Falls apart.
It falls apart. Okay, speak about, I saw on Channel 10 yesterday, the candidate who's running for school board, there is a lawsuit by J.C. Palantis that says she doesn't live in the district. If that's the case, is the rule say you have to live in the district now?
The rules say that at the time of qualifying, you have to live in the district.
Oh, it's like state rep. You got to be in there the day you get elected.
Right.
Excuse me, the day after you win, you have to be in the district.
Well, and see, with the county, you have to be there 6 months, before the election in order to qualify. And that's something that the school board needs to take a look at.
Well, we already know that they screwed up on, one person. He met the legal requirements. He had an apartment, but where was his driver's license? But does anybody know where she resides of qualifying?
Well, and if I could take a minute,
I love to hear it, because Channel 10
to explore
kind of didn't do a good job at it.
Yeah, I like to explore.
And the Grahams, come on, get on the stick, the Post company.
Yeah, and let me say this. First of all, I want to be very clear that I had nothing to do, with the investigation, with the lawsuit, and those kinds of things. I think that to some degree that might have been implied. I have nothing to gain by that. I'm on the ballot. Now right. other folks, who were previous candidates, they may be the ones that are really concerned about that issue. Now, having said that, I'm not surprised that the lawsuit was basically filed. And I say that because since Ms. Santos, has come back from college, she's always lived in the downtown Biscayne Boulevard corridor where her ice cream shop is, okay? And then, the day before, she files to get into the race, she changes, the address on her voters registration document.
The day before?
The day before, documents.
But is that legal? Is that okay?
I'm not the one to say whether that's okay or not. All I'm saying
what's the law on it?
The law is that at the time that you file to run for office, you've got to basically live in the district. And living in the district means that you have made a good faith effort, to actually domicile there. Not that you're going to come in once a week, you know what I mean, and then claim that is your homestead or where you're living at. So again, I'm not surprised, because there are other indications of things basically going on. And
when did she change her driver's license? When did she change?
Well, and again, I'm not sure about that. And see, that's the thing that was a bit disappointing to me as it relates to the reporter.
Channel 10 says that's your address. Well, all you got to look.
But there's an issuance date. There's an issuance date on your driver's license. Okay, and you can have a driver's license that says today. I could have gone yesterday and gotten my driver's license changed. But there's an issuance date, so that should have been explored. Secondly, to kind of have this, the attitude that, well, I'm surprised. Well, look, she's here. Well, what do you expect? I mean, if she's been accused of not living there, what does normal human behavior tell you to do? You go and live there. You know what I mean? To make sure that you try and cover your tracks.
The reason it's a little bizarre of this thing, it's challenged all the time, but you live an hour away from your ice cream job, her job, and not that. Listen, whatever the job is, but the live-in homestead, and the live-in homestead. Is she renting the house, or is she renting a room?
But see, again, and I'm not going to pass judgment at this time.
Right.
I'm sure that the lawsuit is going to basically ferret all of that out. But it's hard for me to believe that someone of her stature, an owner of a ice cream business on Biscayne Boulevard, is now renting a room down in Homestead. It doesn't make logical sense.
Well,
and she's not renting the house. I mean, she is, she is there staying with quote unquote friends. I mean, it doesn't pass the smell test.
Well, it walks like a duck, looks like a duck, and I'm an ice cream person. I haven't tested her ice cream out there. I go to ice cream places all over. We're going to move on to something. Okay, so we got your history.
Right.
The reason we support you because you've been at the Richmond Prime Optimist Club that's molded thousands of kids. Kids. Okay, are we up? Are we still up? There we are.
Yeah, we didn't lose anything.
Okay, you ready? You ready for this? This is quiz time for you. Ready?
Oh no.
Your kid's birthday. Go. Look at this camera because we wanted to make sure.
11, November 11th, November 4th, and April 16th.
Okay, your wife's birthday. Look at the camera. Make sure you get it right.
December 26th.
When's your anniversary?
July 2nd.
You got how many grandchildren?
I got 2.
Go ahead. Tell me, their birthdays?
One is just happened.
That's close enough.
Yeah, 9/30, September 30th, and the other one is November 4th as well.
Okay, quickly. Thanksgiving. As a kid, as a parent, or as a grandparent, what was your favorite Thanksgiving? Do you have one particular one?
I love them all. I mean, just getting family together, and mom, cooking, and my father being there.
Is your mom still alive?
My mom is still alive.
How old is she?
My mom is 86.
When's her birthday?
Her birthday is December the 25th, Christmas
Oh,
Day.
you're lucky you got that one good.
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite hamburger place? I know you like hamburgers.
Favorite hamburger place? Burger King.
Okay. I don't have a breakfast thing, but Mr. Bell, Flavors is his favorite breakfast place. Okay. Or chicken waffles. What's your favorite chicken place?
Favorite chicken place? Popeyes.
All right. I don't know if you like tacos. Do you like tacos?
No, I'm not a big taco fan.
Okay. I know you're a pizza guy. What's your favorite pizza?
Papa John's, since Shaq has gone in
he's the best.
and helped to promote some diversity there.
Okay, where's the favorite place you eat fish? Restaurant.
Bonefish Grill.
The one out in Kendall?
Yeah, the one on one. Yeah.
We already know your favorite football team.
University of Miami.
Okay. Who's your favorite football player in your history?
Oh, in the history, man, there have been so many great players. I don't have one particular individual, but we've had so many outstanding players, and I long for the return of those days. And I think that we're heading in the right direction.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And just FYI, one of the greatest running backs ever is Gore.
Yeah.
And he's a Bahamian.
Yeah.
Bahamian, right? We all know that.
Yeah. Frank.
As a kid, who's your superhero?
Oh, who's my superhero? Probably Superman.
Okay, we got 2 more things. Your favorite hot dog place? Do you like hot dogs?
Yeah, but I like to grill them.
At your house?
On my own
All right,
grill,
well,
man.
Michael, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Your favorite politician as a kid, or in high school?
In high school.
Who do you look up to? I don't want national, local.
Oh, talking about locally?
Anybody. Who do you like?
Growing
up.
Wow.
You're stuck on that one.
Yeah, I'm stuck on that
one. All right,
one.
when you became a commissioner, who was your other favorite commissioner other than you?
My other favorite commissioner was Arthur Teal.
He was way ahead of his time.
He was. He
And,
was.
you know, it's sad how it ended, but
Yep.
he was ahead. He was driven.
Yep.
He wanted what's best for the city of Miami, what's
Yep.
best for Miami-Dade County.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Your favorite Christmas gift. What was your favorite gift? You growing up on, what street did you grow up on?
Jackson Street.
Jackson Street.
Bicycle. Bicycle. I remember getting a bicycle for Christmas, and I rode the bicycle up to the gas station, the filling station, and I put air in the tire.
At 107?
No, this was on Lincoln Boulevard.
Okay.
You know, I put
Yeah,
air.
that,
I put air in the tire, and the tire burst. So I came back home that morning with my bicycle on top of my head. You know.
How old were you?
I'm not sure how old I was.
22?
I'm not sure how old I was,
Okay.
but
This is the last one. The magic of a mix to be a successful elected servant.
well, I think that that what you need to do is you need to have served. And I always tell people, if you're interested in running for elected office, then you need to be a part of providing service out there in the community, similar to what I did with the Richmond Pride Optimist Club. Because by doing that, the people who you're helping as you're providing those services are the same people who are going to basically look at you and help get you to an elected office seat if you do a good job. So to me, that's the key, and that's the advice that I would give to, join some nonprofit organization out there, work out there in the community.
Pay forward.
Absolutely. And again, if you do a good job, people remember that when you decide you want to run for office.
All right. Well, let's look at this camera right here. Commissioner Moss is running for school board. We'd love to get you to support him. He's done some great work in our community over the last 27 years as county commissioner. And how long have you been with Richmond Optimist?
40 years I worked
40
there
years.
until 2018.
He's done some great work. And make sure everybody, Commissioner Moss, Grant Miller, my brother Michael Miller, Tommy on the camera, everybody, make sure you vote very soon. Have a great day. That's it. We're wrapped.